Alright everybody, we're back with another Max Goldfishing expedition. Today we're going over Ezuri Renegade Leader. So this is our OTK elf deck. We'll do, once again, 3 different hands. Determine which one we liked best, and then show that full Goldfish segment. Kind of going over why we're keeping different hands, why we're not keeping other hands. Giving a little bit of a deeper insight to the deck itself. Alright, so let's get started here. First hand, we actually really like this hand, right? We have 3 lands, which is great. We have a 1, 2, 3, and 4 drop. We have some key pieces here in terms of Elvish Warmaster. Sylvan Messenger is really good. Elvish Proclaimer is pretty good. He's actually like part of like a finishing combo for us. Circle of Dream Druids is just big ramp. So this is fantastic. We're definitely gonna keep it. Let's get started. Alright, let's start off Goldfishing 2 here. So we only have a single forest. We don't have any 1-drops. We do have some cards we really like the Growing Rites of Itlamok, Heroic Intervention, Kindred Summons. You know, Beast Whisper is great, but 1 land, we cannot keep it. The average CMC in this deck is like probably around 2.5, 3. But 1 land is just, it's too low, we can't do it. But we get a free mulligan in Commander, so that's okay. So, this is actually okay. So we have 2 lands, right? We have a forest and we have a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. But more importantly, we have 3 different ramp pieces in our opening hand, right? We have our Llanowar Elves. We have a Paradise Druid. We have Marin the Nurturer. I think we're gonna keep this. Move on to our 3rd here. A no-land hand, you hate to see it. Definitely can't keep it. Again, kind of sad, because we have some of our key pieces here, but it is what it is. We get a free mulligan. A 1-land hand that doesn't tap for colored mana. If we had a single forest, I'd maybe consider keeping it, just because of the Priest of Titania. But we can't keep this. Let's restart again. There goes our free mulligan. Oh, we are suddenly having a hard time. Consistency appears to be dropping. Yeah, we can't keep this. We don't have any mana dorks in this hand. We have Taunting Elf who we could play and hope to eventually draw a land, either like turn 1 or 2 from our card draw. And although I think it's very possible, and maybe even arguably likely, I'd rather know that I have a good starting hand. So let's try again. Wow, we are Chuckles in danger here. Okay, so now we're losing 2 cards. Restart? Okay. We're losing 3 cards to do this, which I really don't love. But it is what it is. So we have to determine which 3 cards we want to lose. And kind of pains me to do it. But Champion of Lamb Hold, Paradise Druid, Myriad Landscape are going to be the three that we send to the bottom. Let's draw for turn. Also, a lot of Huntsmasters, nice. Draw for turn, play a forest, tap it, Elvish Reclaimer. Nothing fancy, but, you know, it's good. I like it. Myriad Landscape is a little tempting to get out early, but we want to keep my building board presence, so another forest. Tapping both for the Elvish War Master. So whenever one or more elves enter the battlefield under our control, we get to create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Ability is only going to trigger one time a turn, so not as fast as some other elves that do similar things, but the fact that he gives all of our elves Death Touch at some point for like our big OTK finish is great. Odds are no one played an elf turn 1, like, well, true, no one else likely played an elf turn 1, but more broad picture, they probably didn't play a creature, right? So we can swing with our Elvish Reclaimer, hit someone for 1. Let's move on to turn 3 here. We don't have another 2-drop elf. We want to get elves out kind of quickly here, right? So we'll play another forest, play our Circle of Dreams Druid, eats up all of our mana, and in doing so, we get an elf warrior. Bam. So, you know, just like before, it's turn 3, there's probably some creatures on the field, but I bet there's at least one person who's wide open. You know, we could swing for 3 damage pretty comfortably and be fine with it. Worst case scenario, we hold our guys back. But we're assuming, right, as flow Goldfishing, that our opponents drew a card, played a land, passed. So at this point, we've dealt 4 damage, turn 3. Not bad, not bad. Let's move into our next turn here. Guardian Project is great, and I can get away with playing it, and then my commander if I wanted to. Really just to get card draw going. This deck tends to like play out its hand a little quick, so like card draw is super important. Alternatively, right, I could slap out these 2. Now, we don't have any way of looking at the top of our library, so it's hard to say when Sylvan Messenger should go, be it pre-roiling regrowth or after. But, right, I think after makes more sense. We're going to thin out our deck a little bit, and thus reduce the chances of whiffing with the Sylvan Messenger ability. Makes sense? So we'll tap all 3, rolling regrowth it up, sacking a land, and getting 2. Ah, see? We were wise to do this. There was only 1 elf on top and 2 lands. So we'll slap those in, close and shuffle. Tap my Circle of Dream Druids for 4. Use that 4 to cast Sylvan Messenger, getting another Elf Warrior token. And we get to look at the top 4 cards of our library and put all elves revealed this way into our hand. Then let's go to the bottom of the library. So let's go ahead and reveal 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Now, 50% of them, elves, right? Love that. So we'll take our Marwyn, we'll take our Timberwatch Elf. Losing Kindred summons a little, but, you know, the deck's gonna get shuffled again. We have a lot of ramp. We even have, you know, that kind of ramp on board in this form of Elvish Reclaimer. I think these lands come into play tapped. But it should be more or less fine. Let's go ahead and put these to the bottom of our deck here. Again, you know, we're assuming that no one's played anything. We're already up to 4, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. Just kidding, 8 damage. Sylvan Messenger, you're brand new. 8 damage, pretty good though for turn 4. Let's move into our next turn. So at this point, Myriad Landscape makes the most sense. It does come into play tapped, but that's okay, because our Circle of Dreams Druid plays for a lot. But I think we want to start off by paying for Guardian Project, get some card draw coming in here. Tap our Circle of Dreams Druid for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Using that 6, we'll start off with Marwyn. Starting off with Marwyn over Timberwatch Elf makes the most sense by playing Timberwatch Elf after her. We're going to get a trigger, which is going to let her get a little beefier, and then she'll tap for more mana. And honestly, Marwyn plus Timberwatch Elf is just a really good combo, right? He's going to be able to tap next turn to pump her up, and she taps for mana equal to her power. But on cast, we have 2 triggers. Well, on Enter the Battlefield, we have 2 triggers. Is it cast first? No, it's Enter the Battlefield. Okay, cool. So we're going to add an Elf Warrior. And that trigger again is off of our Elvish War Master. And because of Guardian Project, we're going to draw a card. Ooh, see, we even have options now. I think we're going to stick with Timberwatch Elf, which won't trigger Elvish War Master because he's already been triggered once this turn. And that's like his max, that's his limit here. But Guardian Project will still go off, letting us draw a card. Alright, not too shabby for turn 5. We still have combat. And that combat will let us go from 8 to 9, 11, 12, 14, 15. 15 damage dealt by creatures turn 5. Once again, not too shabby, not too shabby. Also, we did have 2 elves enter the battlefield, right? A token in the Timberwatch Elf. So we can set these counters here on Marwyn to 2. So she's already a 3/3. And the Timberwatch Elf is just gonna make her quite large. So I think next turn actually might be just a chef's kiss of explosive damage. Right, we're already up to 15, which is pretty good. But let's take a look. So no lands in hand, which isn't a huge deal. Let's start off by simply paying 3 to cast Good Old Commandy. Once again, we have a couple triggers, one of which is a new Elf Warrior. That's 2 more on for Marwyn, who's up to being a 5/5 on her own. We're going to draw a card. Ah, nice. We got a forest, so we can play a land for turn now. That's off of our Guardian Project. And honestly, I think it might be time to just pop some stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and tap our Circle of Dreams Druid for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 mana floating. We'll tap Timberwatch Elf to add 11 to Marwyn. Tapping Marwyn for 16. So 16 and 11 is 27. So with 27, we're going to spend 7 of it here. Right, so all of our elves are +2/+2 Death Touchers. And we can do this 4 times with the remaining mana we have. So that's another 12. So they're all +14/+14 Trample Death Touchy boys. So we'd already dealt 15 by turn 5. Cool, that's another 15, so that's 30. Here's another 16, we're up to 46. 46 and 15 is 61. 61 and 16 is 77. 77 plus 15 is 86. 86 and 15 is, what is that? 86 and 15 is 101. So turn 6, 101 damage. We probably took out 2 players there pretty handily. And we still have 3 mana left over. Now we can hold that mana up to regenerate elves. We could hold that mana up to just prevent combat damage. We could grab a card from our grave, not super relevant. We also could have honestly played Rishkar Pima Renegade, pumping up 2 creatures by +1/+1. Would have also increased the Circle of Dreams Druid by 1 in terms of how much it's tapping for. Marwyn would have gone up by effectively 2, right? Because she would have gotten a counter for herself, and Timberwatch Elf would see another elf. And also, we could just tap the 2 into Myriad Landscape, sacking it and go grabbing 2 lands, right? Let's say that's what we did, right? We tapped these, we sacked this. We're gonna go ahead and grab ourselves 2 forests. Close and shuffle that bad boy. I think they come into play tapped as well. Not a super big deal because we're just moving into our next turn. So once again, we really just don't have any lands to play. We could play some of these guys to draw cards, but at this point, you know, it's kind of a why bother, right? We just soup ourselves up. Right, we're doing the same combo as last time. And then we also have all of this mana here. We were at 101. 7 of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all this just goes to paying for Elvish Warmaster. You're tapping for 11. She's tapping for, like, what was it? 16? So we have 27 again. We literally just dump all of it. Every last bit of it right into Ezuri. So, you know, that's 5 triggers, that's 15. They're all 17, plus 17, plus 17 trample death touchy boys. It's turn 7. We swing out and win. I'd be shocked if any of our other Goldfish hands work out quite this well. We had a really just like chef's kiss kind of start, but let's take a look. Alright, so that is the 3 Goldfishes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That's how the decks kind of run. We saw pretty consistently, except for the last game, where we finished off all 3 of our opponents by turn 7 or 8. We had decent draw in, like, at least the first and second, Goldfish. The last one was atrocious. But even with being down 3 cards from mulliganing so much, right? This is still our turn 7. Is it a ridiculous board state? No, certainly not, especially compared to some of the other ones we've had. But it's definitely not a bad board state for turn 7. We're not in CEDH, we're just playing regular Commander here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to do, more Goldfishing videos in the future based on whatever deck tech I just did. I think I'm going to cut back on the number of deck techs. And that's really just to stretch out the number of decks that I have, right? Otherwise, I will very quickly, if I'm doing like 2 a week, I'm only going to last like 3 months. 3-4 months from now, and we kind of want to be able to do content for a while. If you guys want to play Magic with me, I have a Discord, link will be in the description. I'd really like to start cultivating a community, playing some Commander over Spell Table, just having fun discussing Magic. Until next time, guys, as always, good luck with those builds, and I'll see you next time.